Here. So I wanted to talk to you today about my coaching practice and the power of having a coach. So I said to myself that I would relentlessly share that I am a coach and I am a life coach. And having a coach in your life is amazing. And I was thinking about the day when I shared with my when I first opened my bank account of my coaching practice. So I applied for a tax identification number, and then I opened a commercial bank account. And my banker, she's like, "So can you tell me about your business? Like, what do you do?" And I was like, "Oh, would you like to hear about what I do for a business? I have a coaching practice, kind of like a life consulting practice for people that are looking to operate from their soul's alignment, for people that are looking to live deep, meaningful, fulfilling lives, for people that are looking to shift their relationships. Bye-bye. People that are looking to have deep, meaningful relationships in their lives, especially with their spouse or their mom or their loved ones, if they're looking for shifts in their mindset and the way they see their life, especially if they're looking at it from a very sad point of view, a resigned point of view, a lifeless point of view, I throw in the towel point of view. This is how it's going to be. There's not much to it, and it's just something I'm going to have to deal with and live with. And it's not. So many things are a conversation away from you seeing things in a different perspective. Like, for a long time, I lived in this mindset that my dad was a horrible husband for my mom. And we all were in agreement. Bye-bye. We were all in agreement about my dad and what a horrible husband he was. But that's a story that we all lived into. And I never accepted him for exactly the way he was and exactly the way he is not. He was not going to be the husband that did all those things that my mom thought a good husband should. And like helping with the diapers or doing dishes or that. Bye-bye. But he was a good husband in his own right. He was always there to fix the cars. He always brought in the money. He always fixed everything around the house. He always did everything for me. Like, he always showered me with so much love, and there's never anything I would ask of him that he would not do for me. Even dancing at my wedding, which he completely resisted at first. And so over time, especially after hiring a coach, I understood the power of accepting my dad and loving him for exactly the way he was and exactly the way he wasn't. Bye-bye. So that is how powerful having a coach is in your life. She would get you to see things you would never see, and she would point out blind spots. She would help you shift out of things that you have been living into for years. Like, I've been living with the fact and accepting into this story that my dad was a bad dad for 39 years. I was 38 years. I was so engrossed in the story that my mom shared with me that my dad was a really bad husband. I lived into that story for 38 years. And so when I hired a coach is when I realized, oh my gosh, like, it's not necessarily true. It was a story I lived into. And Ava's singing Rain, Rain, Go Away. And so that is the power of having a coach. Ava, sing. Ava, sing. Yes? That's right. So hire a coach. This season, hire me to be your coach. And your life will be transformed in a deeply meaningful, uplifting, incredible way. That's what I do for a living. Bye-bye.
Mama, it's time to go.
Okay, after I do the video, we'll go. So it's hard to put a price on the value of a coach, because how do you put a price on having a deeply meaningful relationship with your husband? How do you put a price on loving your dad in all the ways that he is and all the way that he is not? How do you put a price on no longer being annoyed by your mom and seeing her as a controlling, bossy person? How do you put a price on being present with your kids and not feeling guilty about not being the perfect mom or juggling it and doing it all? Bye-bye, Ava. And so, like, how do you put a price on that? And there is something to be said about exchanging energy for money. And I always kind of avoid the topic of money and how much I charge and all that stuff. So I decided I would stop. I have a healthy relationship with money. I track my money. I manifest every day that I'm a master of the energy of money. So I'm going to be honest with you. It's not cheap to have a coach, especially a good one. And there is something very powerful about exchanging your money for having a coach in your life that provides you this space for you to have massive enlightenment and transformation and to live into this amazing life. And so my rates are, if you haven't already checked them out on my website, it's $1,000 a month. My rates are $1,000 a month for 4 sessions, and the first session is about 2 to 3 hours long, and after that they're about an hour long, and they're weekly. And that's the going rate, and that's actually comparatively cheap compared to other coaches out there, because I, as you know, just recently launched my practice back in August. But I trained under a phenomenal coach. I trained under Concepts by Brendon Burchard, who is a best-selling author of High Performance Habits, Motivation Manifesto, many other amazing books. I was born to be a coach. I love listening to people talk and love listening to their challenges and their roadblocks and the things that are really bothering them and the language that they use to speak about their lives that may be limiting them without them even noticing it. And I love it. I love it so much. And in order for me to do this full time and to have it to be sustainable, that is my rate, to charge $1,000 per month. And my goal is to do it full time, only coach, only do this, and instead of also having a full-time job like I do now. What else? I think that's about it. So, also I offer scholarships on my website if that is way outside of your affordability range, because not all of us can initially afford that price because we haven't quite reached that point in our life where we generate exactly the amount of money that we said we would. And so I help you get there. But in the meantime, if you don't have the money quite yet, then you can go on my website and go under scholarships, and you can apply for a scholarship to get free four sessions of coaching for free from me. And then if you can't afford the $1,000 rate, we can talk numbers afterwards, because I love this more than I love the money. And doing what you love, regardless, day in, day out, whether you get paid or not, you end up getting paid anyways. So I'm not really worried about that. I'm more concerned about you getting your transformation and you living your truly soul elevated life, and you operating from your soul's alignment, and you doing and being what you and who you came here to be. And you know in your hearts of hearts what you came here to be and do. And many of us have just thrown in the towel and just said, forget it. I'm just gonna live the rest of my life out in just getting by and just dealing with it and just just merely existing instead of truly living and being fully expressed into who you truly are. And that is an incredible life experience that we all have the power and the capability to live into, but we don't know how to access it. We don't even know where to start. And that's where hiring me, that's how having me in your picture gets you in that direction and helps you tune into that vibrational frequency so you can truly live a meaningful, fulfilled, uplifting life. What else? So I have a YouTube channel, Soul Elevated Life. I have a website, soulelevatedlife.com. Check out my archive videos. Check out the blogs I typically write. Learn all about me, and in the end, hire me to be your coach, and you will get all sorts of shivers and chills and all the feels about how your life truly is meant to be. A truly soul elevated life. I'll see you tomorrow.